Welcome, everybody. I'm Kelli Thompson, and I'm a leadership coach. And I have another special guest with me today, and I am so excited. I have Denise Perkins with me, and Denise is going to give all of you so much wisdom. Denise is a realtor, and she's also just started another business because that's what women do. One isn't enough. Like, we're that amazing where we can run multiple things at once. The thing that I love about Denise is that she embodies one of my favorite quotes by one of my favorite authors named Dan Pink. And he says, organizations need talented people more than talented people need organizations. And Denise and I were just talking about how women who are smart and talented don't need an organization to be successful. And like she's going to talk about here in a little bit, there are so many opportunities where you can go out on your own and have a thriving business and all the things. So I am going to welcome Denise. Denise, do you just want to tell everybody all the things? So I want them to know, what do you do? Talk about your family. Tell us what your cat's name is in the background, all the things. What do we need to know?
Well, first, most importantly, this is Betty behind me.
Betty, all right.
I'm in and out. I'm Denise Perkins, and I live in the Seattle area, and I'm in a small town called Redmond. Not small, actually, but and I am a mom of 3 kids. I have Will, my youngest, Anna, my middle, and Kate is my oldest at 11. So I have 11, 9, and 8. Yeah, 8 and 9. So
yep.
That's
all the moms just did the math and we're like, oh my God, you're pregnant 4 straight years.
All part of my story.
Yeah.
So, and an amazing husband who's great and supportive. And I have been a realtor now for the last 10 years in October. And I also, prior to that, was had my own marketing and events company. And in between there, I sold trinkets and trash and promotional merchandise. And then after that, I sold hair dryers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I worked for Conair. I sold curling irons and hair dryers. So I got the hookup if you guys ever need anything.
Oh my, okay. So everybody is already like, okay, I need to know all of the things. So I love this. And so I want you to tell us just a little bit, because I think a lot of the women that I talk to, whether they realize it or not, a lot of them have a longing, I think sometimes, to either, what would it be like if I went out on my own? Or what would it be like if I left corporate America? So do you want to talk a little bit about kind of what made you decide to leave working for someone else? And how did you have the confidence to make that leap? Like, and why real estate? Just say more about that.
Yeah. So my first leap, though, really, I got... when I was in my late 20s, I started my marketing company and I got laid off. But prior to that, I knew that I wanted to do it on my own. I don't know why or how. I think it's just in me to not work for other people. Mm-hmm. I tried it, didn't work out. Tried it again, still didn't work out. So I just kind of dug in and did the research and tried to figure it out. And just knew that based on the people that I worked with, that I could do what they were doing. And then I had my marketing and events company, got married, decided I needed a real job to get us to have a salary.
Yeah.
And, we were going to start having a family, and it just felt safer again. So I went back and worked. That's when I sold, I started going into sales because I felt like that had a little bit more flexibility. And that's what I really craved and loved about being an entrepreneur, is being able to control my own schedule. Mm-hmm. And so did that. And then after working for a sales company that was so numbers driven, spreadsheets, not my thing. I'm a people person. I needed to be, if I was going to be in sales, I needed to connect with people. It's like one of my core values is connection. So I had a friend who was in the business, and she encouraged me to do it. And she said, you'd be great. And she and I started as business partners. And I had the confidence at that time because I knew I was going to be working with her, who had been in the business for a while. So that was what gave me that boost at that time.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, so I want to dig into that. So how, because I think that there's an important distinction, and you kind of touched on it already a little bit. You knew that you were unhappy and you're like, dang, I'm doing spreadsheets and this sort of thing. How did you know? Because a lot of people though would say, I have small children. I have a family. I need to provide. I just need to tough it out. Right. I mean, I'm sure that like a lot of us have kind of thought that.
Yeah.
But what in your being was like your never again moment? You're like, I am not, like, this is just not worth it. And I gotta go. Like, how did you know that you needed to do something different?
I hated what I was doing. I mean, and to me, I was traveling a lot and I had small children.
Yeah.
It might have been my never again moment after I came back after my first child. I still had the same workload, still had the same demands. The company I was working for they were slave drivers. And I would be driving in my car from meeting to meeting, pumping while I was driving.
Yeah.
And then the other never again moment was when I was getting ready to go to a meeting. I had to pump before the meeting. I was in a bathroom stall pumping and I dropped my milk on the floor. Oh, right? Like we all know. I was like devastated. And, you know, I'm scrambling. I'm supposed to be looking nice because I'm about ready to go meet a high level account. Yeah. I've got to talk numbers. I've got to have my shit together. So, yeah. It was no fun.
And I think whether we have children or not, like we can all empathize with that moment because whether we're spilling our breast milk on the floor, our baby's bottled milk on the floor, or our own food on the floor because we're trying to eat in the bathroom, right? It's just like, to anybody, like that's just like, oh my gosh. For women who want to make the leap into entrepreneurship and to do their own thing, gosh, you know, what are 3 pieces of advice that you would give them so they can confidently make that transition?
Trust in yourself. And, you know, I think one of the most important things that's super important for all women, and no matter where you are in your career, whether or not you're going to work for yourself or for somebody else, is to remember what you've already accomplished. And I have to remind myself this all the time because, you know, we're so hard on ourselves. Oh, I didn't do my to-do list that I wanted to get done today. I didn't do all these things, but I really try hard to reflect on what I did accomplish. And the day before, oh my gosh, okay, I guess I did do a lot of stuff. I raised a human. I you know, helped my 11-year-old survive a, you know, epic meltdown about, you know, not going back to elementary school, you know. I mean, and those small things, but those are real things. And if you're passionate and committed to what you're doing, it'll just naturally.
You know, when something's right for you, I honestly believe like the universe will conspire with you to help you make it work. If you're all in, like you've chosen, like you've done a great job of telling the story. Like you weren't just I'm just going to try being my own boss and being like, you're like, no, I'm all in.
Oh yeah.
And I think when you make that commitment, that energy gets put into the world and the world tends to commit. What's maybe a Denise, thank you so much for taking the time. What advice would you give women right now who are moms, who have careers, who are juggling all of the kids, just like you are? What's one tip or a thought you'd leave them with so they can move this time with a little more confidence?
Probably just to trust and believe, you know, trust it's going to be, it's hard, but it's not defining us. It's not going to change who we are inside and what we have to offer. And that it's, you know, I mean, just all of the cliched sayings, you know, we're in this together, but it's true. I mean, it's a blip, right? It feels really heavy. We've never been through anything like this before. And just, you know, kind of hug your babies and enjoy what we have. but give yourself some grace and go for a walk.
I love it. Give yourself some grace, go for a walk, and while you're at it, find something to